I'd like to welcome you all here today to Hillside Cemetery and to dedicate this War of 1812 marker for Christine Holley's ancestor. Hiram Simpson was a part of what made America great. And this is what we're going to honor today. I'm glad you're here to be with us. I'd like to say welcome to a lot of people here that were wonderful to come out. Some of you in costume and some of you not, but all with good hearts. Jack Barnett, Norma, I think you did so much wonderful work. What I've heard, you provided us with everything. So we want to thank you and welcome you. The Joint Veterans Honor Guard of Genesee County, they were great. Very hard to get caps nowadays, and someone playing them. The Daughters of the American Revolution, thank you for coming. The Canisteo Valley chapter and the Irondequoit chapter, thank you. The Sons of the American Revolution, Rochester, New York. We also have a member of the Niagara Frontier chapter of the Society of the Second War, of the Great War with Great Britain in the state of New York. And that would be Michael Tunison.
There's a second member here as well. Elijah Brent Monroe is with us, too.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you both for coming and sharing your information with us and your presence. Also want to thank, well, they're not present today, we see the evidence of their work and their support, the Derrick Monument Company and the Ideal Burial Vault Company. And mainly, I'd like to thank Christine for allowing us this honor. So I just think that's great. Is there anyone I haven't? Oh yes, Tom Hay from Mr. Collins' office. Would you make your presence known? All right. Thank you. We don't often get someone from there, so thank you for coming. We appreciate that. If I've missed you, I apologize. I appreciate every one of you today, and also any of our members who've come out as well. I appreciate it. Christine, would you like to come up and just give us some remarks?
Truly appreciate all of you joining us today in honoring my 3 times great-grandfather, Hiram S. Simpson. Wow, this is really amazing. How did it all come about? Well, Hiram and Nancy were one of those big surprises in my genealogy research. Several years ago, I decided that I thought I might become a DAR, Daughter of the American Revolution. And I had to prove my lineage all the way up to my Revolutionary Patriot, Andrew D. Simpson, who is Hiram's father. Well, the regent came over to my house. We were going through all my papers that I had, and it just wasn't working. We couldn't make the lineage go all the way up the right way. And she said, gee, if only you had maybe a Bible or something. Well, the bell went off in my head, and I went to the back of my closet, right to the right box, which does not happen very often, and put my hand in there, and there was a Bible. It was like 5 by 7 size. I brought it out, and we looked at that, and sure enough, it was Hiram's Bible. And she said, Herman is not your 3 times great-grandfather. Hiram is your 3 times great-grandfather. Well, that was cool. I thought, well, that's neat. I have a new grandfather I never knew of. So, success. I became a DAR, and shortly after that, I became a daughter of the War of 1812 in New Mexico. Now, I have had a personal goal of trying to visit as many of my grandparents' grave sites as possible. So one day when we were in Albuquerque, this is where we came from, in the Albuquerque library, there was a book on Genesee County history. And I thought, wow, that's cool, all the way out here. So I looked in there, and there were cemetery listings, and there was Hiram Simpson and Nancy Simpson in the Hillside Cemetery. So I thought, great, next time we're on our way out there, we'll stop up there and we'll find it. Now we came, and we looked, and we looked, and we looked. No Hiram. We could not find Hiram or Nancy. So then I went to the Genesee County History Department, pulled out a book of cemetery listings, and there was a listing for Hiram and Nancy with the inscriptions that were on their headstones. So I knew at one point in time there were headstones for Nancy and Hiram. I also was able to pull up his will online. And in Hiram's will, he specifically for his, it's called Stones for My Grave. So I knew again, there were headstones at one point in time. We had Hiram C. Simpson, and that was his nephew. So I knew I was close, but the dates weren't right and the middle initial was wrong, so that's why I'm always specific with the Hiram S. Now, in February of this year, I contacted Mrs. Stangland of the Niagara chapter of the U.S. Daughters of the War of 1812, and she graciously accepted my request for assistance in this grave marking. So this is really wonderful. We discussed it on one visit out here, and we thought, well, maybe we could get 7 or 8 people to come. So this is amazing. I am so pleased and so touched and honored that you all wanted to join us. Now, with the approval of Mr. Jack Bernard, I submitted an application to the Veterans Administration for a replacement headstone for Hiram. And in record time, the headstone appeared. And then we got Nancy her headstone. So I have grandparents fully designated here in the Hillside Cemetery. Now, back to my other story. Along with that Bible that was in the back of my closet I found an album of tintype photos. Hiram was obviously a respected and loved man because Hiram and Nancy were the first 2 photos in that album. Those are the photos that are in your program. They're a little grainy and hard to see, but remember they're copies of a tintype. And we've dated these to about 1865-66. Because Hiram did pass away in 67, so. Hiram and Nancy had 8 children, 3 girls and 5 boys. 4 of the children are buried in this cemetery with him. The girls, Jane married a Bennett, and they're over across the road there. Mary married a Graves, and Anne married a Cook. And Charles is along here too. Today we have 4 Simpson descendants of Hiram. 2 of them can actually carry the Simpson name. We have 3 times great-grandson Dick Simpson of Williamson. Give a little wave back there, Dick, and his lovely wife, Linda. We have 4 times great-grandson Robert Simpson and his lovely wife, Dawn. Robert and Dawn came up from Knoxville, Tennessee. And Robert brought his mom, Louise Simpson, wife of Robert Simpson, the cousin that's on the 3rd level. So we have, and my brother, Stephen Trax of Rochester. So we're also 3 times great-grandchildren. So in other words, with these 4 descendants, his children that I mentioned, family and friends to share this honor that is being paid to him today. Thank you. Most sincerely, I thank you all for coming. This is an honor.